Hey everybody, today we're going to put together a enclosure add-on for the trailers that I've started making. So the trailer assembly for the basic part is done in another video that I put out about a week or two ago. So make sure you go through the assembly for that and get to this point here where you've got the basic trailer. The enclosure consists of panels and some framework and door and stuff. So the panels, you can choose to take the masking off of both sides. They do come with masking on both sides, but I leave it on the inside just because it sort of looks like paneling that you would see the wood panels inside a trailer. So it will hold a Kyosho Mini Z F1. It's a very snug fit. Maybe if you have a huge wing or something, it might be a little tighter, but it does hold one just fine. So, and width is pretty good too. So anyways, other than that, it's really just a matter of assembling the frame and putting the panels in and mounting it on the trailer. So anyways, we'll go ahead and get started. We'll just set the trailer aside for a second and we'll get all the parts out. All right, so screw kit, we'll go ahead and get the screws put over here. They all should be the same except for two. There'll be two slightly longer ones, machine screws. So those are for the door hinges, so just set those aside. The rest of them will be the regular M2x6s. So as far as the panels and stuff go, the side panels, like I say, everything comes already masked. You can choose to pull off whichever side you want. I will be shipping these the panel inside the frames so that it helps protect these frames so that they don't get bent or anything during shipping. So most of these will ship in boxes anyway. So obviously these are the sides. So we'll set those aside. We're actually going to start with those first here in just a second. The front panel and frame, I usually, will put them in here. I also try to label and pencil on the panels as to what they're for. But most of the stuff, these three will actually come in the frame like that. This is the door one. There's actually a small little notch right there, you can see. I purposely put there. Again, I try to label them. We'll set that aside. We'll do it last. The biggest one is the top, so we'll set that aside as well. As far as these other pieces, easiest way I found to separate them is just sort of start with this one. It's got a hole right here in the center. This will be the top of the back frame of the trailer, so we'll take that and sort of set that aside. Next will be this one with notch up the middle. That's the top of the door. Then there will be these two here that have sort of these oval holes in the bottom and channels. Oops, these are the sides of the door. So I'm going to put these together. I'll set aside over here. And then there's this one that has sort of, I don't know, two bumps up, whatever you want to call these, with holes in them, and then one hole on the end. This will be the lower hinge for the door, so we'll set it over here with the door stuff as well, which leaves us with this cross piece. That'll be one of the next few pieces we'll install. So let's get started. First, I'm going to take the panels. You'll see there's these little, I don't know what you call them, wedges, notches, whatever. They go into the slots on the trailer. There'll be 4 screw holes on one side and just one on the other. This will be the back side and this will be the front. The inside always has these tabs. So make sure you put those to the inside. So put this one on here, and as you see from the outside, you don't see any tabs. The 4 holes should be towards the front. So we'll do that. And again, I'm leaving the masking on these panels. You can choose to put the whole trailer together and then take a couple pieces apart in order to get the masking off. It might help protect the glossy black. Entirely up to you whether you want to do it beforehand or after. So this will be the other side. I'll go ahead and put it there too. So all right, next, grab that front piece. Again, the tabs here go to the inside. Flat part goes to the front. We'll go ahead and put that in the front notches. So that literally gets those on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head and put 3 holes on these, or 3 screws in these first 3 holes here. One thing I forgot to mention too, I try to clean up the parts as much as possible because there are some supports and stuff. These tabs that stick out the bottom, every once in a while there's a little extra buildup that gets on those. You know, it may not let it slide down in the slot all the way. I try to clean it up. If you do end up with a little bit on there, just real carefully take you some pliers and just sort of scrape it a little bit. You can also take a knife and just sort of scrape it. Maybe a slat file. You don't need to usually take much off, but sometimes it gets a little piece up in there that I miss. But I try to test fit all of them, make sure that they're clean. So because when you put it down, it should sit flush. And we'll be putting screws in these holes, so you want to make sure it sits all the way flush in there. So I'm going to go ahead and actually put some screws in here, and then these bottom 3 on both sides. Okay, so that gets those mounted, and now let's go ahead and we'll take this the one that has 1 screw hole inside, channel going up the front. Just go ahead and that mounts right there on the front. So the channel part should be parallel with the top. And we'll just put 1 screw on each side. It goes through the side frame into this little cross beam. I don't know what the technical terms are for some of it, but hey, I'll just wing it. All right, now let's take the top panel. Go ahead, and there should be a channel that sort of goes all the way down. Just slide that all the way down. Then let's take this one here that's got the 1 screw hole right here in the middle. That will face back, and then it should slip right on there. That channel should go right on top of the panel. And then again, just 1 screw hole in each side. All right, now we can go ahead and put one screw. Just screw it in a little bit. We can adjust it once we get the door on. All right, now let's take this one that has 2 tabs sticking up here, and we will slide those up underneath because there's channels right here. We're just going to slide it up like that. These screw holes should line up with everything else. And then we're just going to put a screw in each of these. Okay, set that aside for just a second. We'll get the door started. The way you can tell what's the outside versus the inside, if you take one of these and turn it sideways, you'll see there's a little bump right here. That goes to the outside, which will be the outside of the trailer facing this way. And then same thing with the other side. A little oval. That's a little bitty bump right there. You can also see that this right here, this flat spot here, that should be, when you line it up at the door, should be facing out. And then there's the top part with the little notch here, little notch over there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get 2 screws started right here. I'm not actually going to put them all the way through or anything. I'm just going to get them started so that they stay in there, just where they barely are coming out the other side. Okay, so notch facing the trailer. I'm going to take this one here. That one I'm going to go ahead and put the screw into. All right, from here, I've got this frame here. I'm going to take the door. I'm just going to slide it into that little notch. Then I'm going to take the other one, slide it onto that side, and then I'll fasten the other screw. Okay, so that made the door. That'll stay in there. Now we just need to put the hinges on. So take these, and here, turn it sideways so you can see. Just want to get it lined up right there on the side. Put a screw through there. You don't want to tighten this all the way tight, or you won't be able to open and close the door very well, but you just want it where it'll go up and down. And you can always adjust it. You know, you may want it a little bit tighter, but I guess it depends on how easy you want the door to open and close. All right, there we go. This does slide, so when you lift it all the way up, you should be able to put it on that screw and slide it down. That's what locks it in place. If it's a little loose, you can tighten that screw just a little bit until you get it as tight as you want it. Really, you should just be able to tighten it until the door sort of sits flush. Yeah, so that's still just a little bit more. Try that. That's not too bad. I actually like it where it's got just a little bit of tension, a little less likely to rattle. There we go. That's on there pretty tight. So that's good. So obviously lift it up and then tilt back. So, and that's actually it. So again, I put it together with the masking on there. If you did the same thing, then what you can do in order to get the door panel off, take one screw out here, one screw off the side, this panel will slide out. You can actually, if you take these 4 screws out here, you can take this cross beam out. The whole top will slide out this way. The front will slide out. You can actually just pull this front frame out at that point, and then the sides will slide out. So that's the easiest way to get the panels back out in case you put it together with the masking on there, which I sort of like to do just because that way you get most of the frame put together without scratching the panels, because these are very glossy panels. They don't necessarily, you know, scratch super easy, but you know, it's glossy. I mean, what can I say? Fingerprints, scratches, just whatever. So it is possible to mess them up, but that masking does help. So anyways, that's pretty much it. So now it's other than some wheels and tires, it's ready to rock and roll. Again, black on black is what I'll be doing initially. I may be doing some white on silver as special order, and then you know, I'll see. I may end up doing some custom etching. This is actually laser etched. I won't be doing the painting, but I may do some custom laser etching. So anyways, if you're interested in any of that, or even a special custom color other than silver and white, or black on black, then just hit me up and let me know. And for anybody that watched to the end, usually my number one question is, where did I get my electric screwdriver? I've had this thing for years. It's a El Cheapo I got off of Amazon. There are actually some really cool ones out there now that have adjustable torque and stuff like that. So feel free to just jump out on Amazon. I think if you look for precision electric screwdriver, I think that's what this will come up as. It usually comes with a ton of little bits and stuff like that. So, but it's my number one go-to, and I actually think I need to charge it. I've put so many of these things together recently. So anyways, enough with that. So if you have any questions about the enclosures or the trailers in general or anything like that, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, I appreciate it, and have fun and keep on crawling.